Good evening, Dr. Hannah. We are from Group 5 Apprentice Lawyer, and this is our group activity 3. So let me introduce myself and my group members. My name is Qiu Yourun, and my metric number is 195675. And we have Han Yuchen 200012, Liu Changxing 200164, Ye Li Chen 199700, Liu Yuhan 205084. So in this video, I'm going to divide this video into two parts. The first part is I'm going to explain the case. And second part is I'm going to act as a judge and deliver the judgment. So the first part is the case, which is an existing case, which is Casely Maxted Corporation versus Durant. The fact is the appellant Casely had authorized an agent named Robert to buy a wheat in a given price, fixed price from Durant. So Robert bought the wheat at a higher price from Durant in his own name. Casely company informed Robert that they accepted a higher price. Later, the Casely failed to take up the wheat from Durant. So the Durant was forced to sell the wheat to others at a lower price. So Durant sued Casely on his loss of damages. In this case, we can see the issue is whether the ratification of Casely is valid. So we can refer to the laws. The definition of ratification is the right of person as to act done for him without his authority. So in section 149 of the Contracts Act 1950, we can see where acts are done by one person on behalf of another, but without his knowledge or authority, he may elect to ratify or disdone the acts. If the ratifies them, the same effects will follow as if they had been performed by his authority. And we also can refer to another case, which is Kellner versus Baxter. Kellner is a promoter acted as an agent to make a contract to buy wine from Baxter to run a hotel on behalf of a company. But the company was not formally formed yet. Later, the company fell into liquidation. Baxter sued the company. Since the company didn't exist at the time of contract made, it was treated as no contractual capacity to make the contract. And the ratification of the contract is also void. So as a result, the agent, Kellner, was held liable on his action. So we can go back to our case, it's Casely. And because the section 149 said where acts are done by one person on behalf of another person, although the Robert is on behalf of Casely company, but he signed a contract with with Durant by his own name. So there is already no ratification. So the ratification is void. So the principal was not required to pay for the damages. And this is what House of Lords held. The House of Lords held that Casely was not liable to Durant since there is no ratification because Robert signed the contract with Durant by his own name. And there is no disclosure of agency made by Robert during the time of contract. So now is second part. The fact is Casely authorized Robert buy the wheat from Durant, and Robert signed a contract in a higher price with Durant and by his own name. At the beginning, Casely accepted that price, which is a little bit higher than the original one. But later, the Casely failed to take up the wheat from Durant, so Durant sued the Casely. So the issue is whether the ratification of Casely is valid. So we refer to section 149 of Contracts Act 1950. It says acts are done by one person on behalf of another person. But in this case, the Robert already signed a contract by his own. So a contract made by an agent in his own name does not require and cannot receive any ratification. Contract, it is complete in itself. And because Kesley was not liable to Durant, so I held Kesley was not liable to Durant, and there is no disclosure of agency made by Robert during the time of contract, because the Robert signed a contract with Durant, and by his own name, the contract it is complete already, and the ratification given by Kesley Company is void. So the Kesley Company is not required to pay the damages. So that's all for our activity 3. Thank you for your listening.